In this game, Tal had sacrificed a piece quite early on in order to keep the opponent's king in the center and opening lines against it. It was in this position quite early on after black's queen f5. Tal went knight takes f7 here, king takes f7, so this is the most dynamical solution. f3 and knight takes e5 and f takes e4, opening lines against the black king. Okay, let's have a look at the position 10 moves later. Here we see how white's attack has developed. The black king is still in the center, and here white played queen h3, introducing the leitmotif of this game, discover check on the diagonal towards the black king on d7. Black blocked this diagonal with queen e6, also hitting the rook on c4, which is unprotected, and here Tal simply captured on f6. He simply captured on f6, and against this black has two defenses. He can take on c4 and he can also capture on f6. We shall have a look at both of these defenses. We will start with pawn takes f6, and the question now is, how did Tal conclude his attack here? How would you use this diagonal h3 to d7? What would you play? Rook to e4. Excellent. This move deflects the black queen away from this diagonal h3 to d7, and if black captures on e4, the queen is lost. White simply goes rook e5, not rook f4 by the way, then the queen simply goes back. Rook e4, and in the game black went queen takes h2, but a2, sorry, but then white simply went rook takes c5, and black resigned for obvious reasons. So, rook e4, excellent. Okay, we have seen how the game went, how Tal decided the game after bishop takes f6, pawn takes f6, and now rook e4, attacking this queen on e7, and this queen can't maintain the blockade on this diagonal. After queen here, rook c5, black resigned. But let's go back to this position after bishop takes f6. We've seen how black lost after pawn takes here, but the question is, what would you do after queen takes e4? Picking up a rook. Of course now the diagonal is wide open, the diagonal h3 to d7 that is. How would you continue as white here? It's a tricky one, it's a toughie, so how would you play here? Splendid. This is great. If you've seen that, you're a genius. I didn't see that one. Bishop takes g7 decides the game in white's favor, and we shall see why. The critical point is that white wants to give a double check, but he doesn't want to give it on d5, but he wants to give it on f7. Very well. Bishop takes g7. Excellent. Bishop takes g7 would have been Tal's incredible winning continuation. Also interesting here is rook d5, of course. Rook d5, the immediate double check, but the black king simply goes to c6 or c7. Doesn't make any difference. Queen d7 check, and now king here. And here white doesn't have a decisive continuation. After bishop d8 check, black of course must avoid this. But he can capture this rook. Queen takes, and now again black must avoid king a6, queen to a5, checkmate. But he can return. He can just go back with the king to c6, and now white seems to have nothing better than this check and check again. So perpetual check with a draw. So this was rook d5. But bishop g7 really does the trick. White wants to give a double check on f7. So what can black do? White, by the way, after bishop g7, threatens the double check, and also he threatens simply to pick up this rook on h8 with material balance. And of course, a move like queen c1 is answered by rook f1, check, when winning the queen. So black takes, and now comes this check on f7, this double check. So black must move the king, king to d6. If king c6, there comes check on d7, and queen takes b7, checkmate. King d6, and now the black king is hunted out in the center. Queen d7, king e5, rook f5, check. King e4 and rook f4, picking up the queen. After king here, white can take here, or he can play d4 first. Everything's winning, so this is hopeless for black. Bishop g7, and this is a point, an attacking point I find incredible, and you've seen it. Hopefully, this idea is just great, and it's typically Tal. I liked it very much.